so timeline. So from the moment that you get your email, hooray, you've been accepted as a jet, to like your first month here, what should somebody expect? Like from that email, I know that there's like 2 different types of emails that you get. Like one, do you guys want to kind of talk about that?
You're the newer.
Yeah.
You're the one who remembers what happened.
Okay. So I was like kind of in a weird position because I was put on the alternate list.
Me too.
Yeah, so don't lose hope.
Definitely. Do not lose hope.
When were you upgraded?
I was upgraded actually like maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks after they sent out the announcement. I think it's because there was like a big earthquake in Kyushu, and so maybe someone got scared.
It's like, no,
Yeah.
that's very far away.
Yeah, so Kyushu is miles away from Tokyo. But it happens pretty fast, I feel like, once you get, like, you've been accepted, and it's easy to be overwhelmed, so I guess my first advice blanket statement is don't be overwhelmed.
Okay.
What about you? When did you?
So I was also an alternate. I got upgraded in the end of July, or at the end of July, and then I moved out here for the second week of September. So I moved after Group C comes into Japan. So once you get your jet acceptance email or letter or whatnot, it will, after quite some time, your consulate will tell you when and where you will be going. So if you're in Group A, that means that you are coming in like the end of July. If you're Group B, that means that you're coming in beginning of August, which is like a couple days after the first group.
Yeah.
And then Group C would be coming like the first week of September. So I was like too late to be in Group C, and when I got my email, it specifically said, congratulations, you got into JET. And then a couple weeks later, I got my placement info, which was Tokyo To, and then it said my school on it, which I believe if they say that the school that you're supposed to be attending to, that means that you're private. If it just says Tokyo To, and it doesn't say anything about a school, then that means you're public.
Yeah, initially it's Tokyo To, Tokyo To.
Yeah,
Tokyo To, Tokyo To.
So for public schools, initially we get an email that just says like Tokyo To, and it doesn't say anything about your school. And then if I recall correctly, I got the information like for my actual school in another email from my supervisor. Like they fill out like this paper that tells you like a bunch of like miscellaneous information about your school, like how many teachers, how many girls, how many boys, how many students like graduate, like what percentage graduate and go to university, things like that. And that comes around like late June, early July.
I got mine. Late June, early July, because I was in New York at the time.
I was not in the States at the time, so I just don't remember. But I mean, I think that's one thing is that I don't know how it is now, but like for us as well, like there were a bunch of things that we didn't know before we got like to Japan. But and it's like it's really like overwhelming at the time. You're like, I don't know what's going on, like but actually everything really works out.
Just
in
trust
the end.
the process.
Just believe that tomorrow there will be a solution. Like
and like for timeline process, so like after you get your initial announcement, then you'll be going to like a pre-orientation, like pre-departure orientation. So there should be like one held in your area, like a month or so before you leave, and then there'll be the second one, and that's going to be like the few days before you leave. So that's like the pre-departure orientation.
Okay. Let's talk about when you actually arrive here in Japan on JET for the Tokyo program. What are the first like few days look like?
Really hot.
Really
hot.
They're gonna be hot.
But do you want to, since you were the most recent?
So the first 3 days is like the entire jet cast and crew orientation of all the jets meet in Tokyo this year, and I think the past years, it's been at the KO Plaza Hotel.
And I think it's always
It's always at the KO Plaza Hotel.
But then, so for Tokyo Jet specifically, after the first 3 days, we get shuffled to another hotel that is slightly less cool, but still good. And we have another week of orientation. And then during that time, you'll also get shuffled again to a homestay program, which is super awesome. So
Sometimes.
hopefully.
Your experience may vary.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah.
the thought that counts.
Oh, and I should mention, depending on whether you're public or private, that'll happen a little bit differently because
Yeah,
Way different.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was public schools. For private schools,
I was actually.
yeah, he wasn't there.
Right.
Yeah, my orientation was about 30 minutes in the Shigakuzaiden
Well, from
office
what I
building.
hear, it's very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
so
30
yeah,
minutes
yeah.
to die. Like,
But
Yeah.
you do get separated and like you have your own
Yeah.
based
orientation.
on the testimonies of some of my friends who are private schools, they did not do a homestay.
They
Yes.
don't.
They
They,
put you in temporary housing.
Yeah.
So once you're finished with your orientation or your time at the KO Plaza Hotel, you will either then go to a different hotel closer to your school, like where you will be placed, or you will get your own temporary housing. So my co-jet had temporary housing, and no, my co-jet had a hotel. I had temporary housing, as well as another private school jet who came into Tokyo during the same time as me.
right. And you guys pretty much have like free reign of the whole city during that period of time between when school starts and orientation, right? Because I remember like.
Theoretically, yes.
Yeah.
You're
So
supposed to be finding your house.
yes, and you are
Oh.
supposed to be finding your house during that time. And so you can use, I think you have that hotel space as well as the, or the temporary housing for either a week or 2 weeks. Don't quote me on that. I had mine for about 2 weeks, and during that time, they actively encourage you to go find your own apartment if you have not already found one before you came to Japan. Which is my next question.
Should we talk about the public schools though? Because the one thing about the
Yeah.
orientation that we have that week after KO Plaza is that it's like you have to go. And
It's
like
built in.
it's built into your schedule.
into your work schedule. So
You
like
go and
they
go.
take attendance and everything. And so I think that's one thing that you should keep in mind is that like that period of time between when you get here and when school starts, like it's you probably can't actually go anywhere. Like
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
filled in.
vacation time. Literally like every day is filled in
Yeah.
with something to do. Even at KO Plaza, like when you arrive, like you're probably not gonna get out of the hotel and
Yeah.
out of orientation until like at least like 8 at night. So
Yeah.
don't
And you
try
have to
plan
put
anything. Like
you have to put slips into like the box to like say
Oh,
that
yeah.
you've been there.
To
They
say
count.
you've
they
been
check.
your school knows whether
yeah.
you went.
I mean,
It's,
technically, you're getting paid for.
yeah, you're
You're
getting
getting
paid
paid
for
for
it.
it,
Yeah,
so,
so
yeah.
it's, you should go. Like,
Right.
but
Yeah.
just
Also-
something to keep in mind.
I will say something that I think they improved this year compared to previous years is they built in time during, like after the KO orientation, during the Tokyo specific orientation, they gave us time to go find housing. I think
Oh,
it was-
yeah.
They've been
yes,
increasing the time you get to find
It's
housing
only been 2
each
years,
year.
but yes.
Mm.
God, it was
Because
intense.
yeah, so like you have to like get housing, figure out your phone, and then also start up a bank account in that time. During our year, during Ali's year, they had it the worst.
We had 1 day to find apartments, and there was only 1 or 2 companies contracted to see to 100 people. So I was with a group of 7 other girls looking for housing, and we weren't told about the share house option. So we only saw
that's
2
right.
apartments, and those were snapped up by 2 of the girls, but there were still like
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
5 other girls, and so I speak Japanese, so I just went to a different rental company and said, please just find me an apartment.
Yeah, and then our year they broke us down into smaller groups, and like you're usually given a few options of floor plans, and then you're like allowed to pick 2 of those and go see them.
It really depends on your realtor though, because like my realtor was easily
Super
like
great.
the best out of our year, and like I saw like 11 apartments.
Whoa.
But I think we had a day as well.
We had a day.
We had 2. We had 2 days.
Yeah, I guess we did have to.
But they, like,
But
pushed
Group
you
B
to
is
sign
difficult because it's right in the Obon
Right.
festival,
Yeah.
and so
Wait, what is Obon? To explain.
Oh,
it's like this holiday that is a week of everyone just goes back to their ancestral home and like pays respects to their ancestors' graves or visits their elderly relatives. And so everyone's out of Tokyo, and
everything is closed.
all of everything is closed. So
So
there's about a week that the real estate agents are all closed, and it takes a week from yes, I want this apartment to get your key and you can move in.
Mhm.
And that week starts from when the business day is, and so often you'll go and you say, I want this, but you can't start it until they come back from Obon.
Obon, yeah. So that's Group
So-
B.
Yeah,
So you just keep that in mind.
Group A doesn't have that problem.
Yeah, and neither does Group C, right?
No.
So.
Sorry, Group B.
I
Yeah.
would say in my situation, I also know a little bit of Japanese, but I also spent some time before I came here to go search for apartments. I looked up online. I had a couple Japanese friends who were also real estate agents, so they told me what was a good deal and what wasn't a good deal. And then by the time that I actually got there, unfortunately, the like perfect house that I thought was that I wanted was like automatically snatched up. So from that point on, I would say for the first 2 or 3 days that I was here and kind of settled in, I spent that time outside of work looking for apartments with my supervisor at the time, who also used to be a real estate agent. So he had connections. Yeah.
Some
He-
private
yeah, he had
stuff, right?
Yeah,
connections.
private schools are like.
Also, my private school hooked us up to the point where the school is actually on the lease and not me. So when I leave, I can leave it to my successor, which I think is a really big part of Jet here in Tokyo, is that you do have to look for an apartment every time that you are a new Jet here, and you cannot give it up, or you cannot
Pass it on.
you cannot pass it on to
Your successor.
to your predecessor or to your successor.
Yeah, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, but you
But-
can get their furniture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and plus side, what if your predecessor is a slob who has a really gross
Yeah,
apartment?
yeah.
You get
Yeah.
to pick your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to pick the layout that's best for you, the location is
Location.
that's best for you. Like, I
Yeah.
honestly think it's better actually that we.
How much you want to spend?
Yeah, how much you
Yeah,
want to spend,
exactly.
because
Yeah.
that's one thing about being a Tokyo Jet is that I don't know about private schools, but in public schools they don't subsidize your rent.
Yeah.
No.
So,
yeah.
like, you might
Absolutely
heard that,
not.
like, in other prefectures, they get subsidized rent, like,
Don't.
people getting, like, houses for free. Like, that does not
Not
happen
That
in
does
Tokyo.
not happen here.
Yeah, touching on location. So before I came, I didn't really do like any research or anything on like apartments or location or anything. I was completely new to the like all of it. Try to do a little bit of looking into like areas of Tokyo and like what those areas are known for. Once you find out your school, try to see like what lines, train
Yeah,
lines
what
and
train
subway
lines.
lines are on your school. So if you don't want to have to transfer when you like do train, when you take the train in the morning, whether you want to be able to walk or bike to work, figuring out like distances from where your school is, and then also like areas of the city. So like you may want to live in a different area than your school is, and
Yes.
then you'd be able to
Live your life.
yeah, you'd be able to like live your life and like let your realtor know, like the person that you end up with, letting them know like what area you actually
Yeah.
want to be in.
Yeah.
Cause like I live in Sumida, as does Alan, and it's kind of like an old people area. So yeah.
Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. Click here to see the next part of this video series. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you like it. If you have a question, please leave it in the comment section below.